Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be filming another video today. So today's video is on this look right here. It's very bronzed, very glowy. We got this sultry, rosy eye going on. It was a really fun video to film, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. All right, so jumping right into the video, I have nothing on my face at all. I have no skincare on, no brows, so let's do that together. First, I'm gonna go in with the ELEMIS Superfood Cica Calm Hydration Juice, which if you watched my last video where I tried out some new things, I used this in that video, and I've been using it ever since to prime for my makeup, and I love it. I love it so much. It is so nice and hydrating, especially if you do your skincare before your makeup and then you wait a couple hours before you do your makeup. This is a great way to just refresh your skin and get it all ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and tie back my hair real quick so it's easier for my makeup application. How have you guys been doing? Are you guys staying positive over there? I'm trying my best to stay positive with all this crazy stuff happening, and we're finding out every day more and more stuff about commencement and prom, so it's been a little tough, but I'm trying to stay positive over here, so hopefully you are too. The next thing I'm going to do is the Maybelline Master Prime Primer Base, the Hydrate and Smooth one, which is 050. I really recommend this for people with drier skin. It's a really nice primer to use just to seal in all your dry skin and just apply a nice base for the makeup to sit on top of. And then the last primer I'm going to use is the POREfessional primer by Benefit. I also tried this out in my testing out new things video, and I have been using this all the time as well. I did say I'd fill you guys in if any of this stuff broke me out, and none of it has. All right, so now that I am all primed and ready to go, I'm gonna go into the brows, and I'm going to use the Precisely My Brow Pencil by Benefit. It's really nice. It has a spoolie on this end and then a really fine tip on the top. I know you guys have seen me use the Goof Proof Brow Pencil by Benefit, and that has more of a fatter tip. This one is really small and precise, hence the name, Precisely My Brow Pencil. But I'm gonna go ahead and use that today. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill those in really quick, and then I'll be right back. All right, so my brows are all filled in, and then I went in with my Tape Shave Tape in the shade Light, which is 20B, and I took this on just kind of a pointed concealer brush, and I just took this and I carved out the under parts of my brows and the tops just to clean them up a little bit. And yeah, that's all I did while I was off camera. But now I think it is time for some foundation. I'm going to be using a new foundation to my channel. This is my second favorite foundation of all time. You always see me use the Bare Minerals foundation, and I'm in Satine 05, I think is my shade in the Bare Minerals. But this is my second favorite. You guys know I have dry skin, and I love to be glowy, so this is such a great drugstore foundation for me to use. This is the L'Oreal Infallibile Pro Glow 24-hour foundation, and it has SPF 15 in it, and it is their radiant finish for normal to dry skin, and it's hydrating. I use the shade 202, which is creamy neutral. I don't recommend applying it with a sponge because it is a very light consistency. The sponge tends to soak up a lot of the product, so what I do is I'll just apply it to a plate or the back of my hand, and then I will use a brush like the Sephora 56 Pro Flawless Airbrush brush, and I will just apply it that way, and then I'll go over it with the Beauty Blender just to kind of push it into the skin a little bit more. But that's my favorite way to apply it, but overall it's a great foundation. So I'm just going to start going in with it, and I'm going to start at the lower half of my face and work my way up. I'm just going to, again, apply it with my brush, take it under my chin and on my ear, but I'm just going to apply it with the brush and blend it into my skin. Okay, so now that I applied the foundation with my brush all over, I'm just going to take my Beauty Blender and just tap over it just to kind of push it into my skin, because I feel like a brush doesn't do as good of a job as a Beauty Blender. So I'm just gonna push it in a little bit. I would say that this foundation, if you would compare it to the Bare Minerals foundation, it has a lot dewier of a finish, and it also doesn't have as much of coverage, but it does have really great coverage. I would say it's definitely medium to full, but I would say that the Bare Minerals foundation is definitely full coverage. I am gonna go into some concealer now. I'm gonna use my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer again in the shade Light. I'm going to apply some right underneath my eyes, a little bit in between my eyebrows, a little bit on the bridge of the nose, Cupid's bow, and a little bit on the chin. But I'm just gonna blend this part in with my Beauty Blender. I prefer to blend out my concealer with a Beauty Blender better than a brush. It's just my personal opinion, but I'm just applying a little bit of concealer just to add a little bit more coverage and highlight just a little bit. Alright, so now that my concealer is blended out, I'm going to go in with a cream foundation stick for my cream bronzer. And this is the Makeup Revolution foundation stick, and it is in the shade F13. So I'm going to use this to just cream bronze my face a little bit. I'm going to go in with that same exact foundation brush, dip it into the top, and just apply it to my cheeks little by little. I really enjoy using creams because it looks more skin-like in my opinion, and it really just blends very well. I would also really recommend this specific foundation stick with the L'Oreal foundation we put down. Something about it, it blends so seamlessly and so beautifully together. I do use the same foundation stick with my Bare Minerals foundation, and I will tell you that it does not blend as easily or as seamlessly as it does with this L'Oreal foundation. I just think this is the perfect summer matchup. It just makes you look so sun-kissed and fresh and natural at the same time, even though, girl, we know it's not natural, but relatively it looks more natural than packing on a bunch of powders. So right now what's going on in my life is that we're trying to figure out if we could still hold my graduation party because, you know, the corona stuff doesn't really permit a large gathering of people right now, and my graduation party is supposed to be in the beginning of June. So we're a little bit on the borderline of whether we'd be able to hold it or not. So right now we're just trying to plan as if we are having my graduation party in the beginning of June. We do have a backup date, but we're just going ahead with the June date in hopes that everything works out. We'll probably make the final decision in like the first day of June. It's so weird because we just can't like make plans because we don't know if it's gonna go through or not. So that's what's kind of going on in my life. Also, we found out that my commencement ceremony is going to be like a drive-by. So basically we're gonna pull up to the school, get out. We can only bring one car, and then you get out of the car and you get your diploma, and then you get back in your car, and then the next person goes. So they're calling it a drive-through. I wish they really wouldn't call it that because it makes me want to say, also with my diploma, can I have some fries with that? That's basically how I feel. But I hope everything works out. You know, everything works out for the best. So I'm just trying to keep a very positive attitude about it. But it is a little scary, like not knowing exactly what's going to happen. And I bet a lot of you guys are going through something where you're kind of uncertain with the plans up ahead. And so I just want to tell you guys, like, everything works out for a reason, and just try to keep a good head on your shoulders and stay positive. Try to find the bright side of things. Like with this drive-through thing, I'm thinking like, oh, it could be fun just to drive through. We could get a cool car to go in and just do something really fun and be able to come back and see some of my family. Everything's still going to work out. I'm still going to graduate and different things like that. So that's just an example of a way to look at it in a different light than just being so negative, like, oh, this is not what I wanted, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? So if something like that's happening in your life right now, just try to stay positive and find the good things in the situation, and it'll really change your attitude and help you feel better about it. Next, I'm going to go into the All Naturale Cream Multi-Stick in the shade Grapefruit, and I'm just going to apply it to my cheekbone and the apples of my cheeks. Also, I was thinking about my prom is supposed to be at the end of June. So I was wondering if you guys would like to see a prom like vlog, get ready with me of the process, you know, like my nails, my hair, my makeup, you know, getting the dress on, jewelry, shoes, all the good stuff. So I was wondering if you guys would want to see that because I'm really excited. Even though prom, hopefully it still works out that we can have a big prom with like our whole class at the end of June, but if not, then me and my friends are going to do something for sure. So either way, I'm going to be wearing my dress. I'm going to be getting ready for prom. bomb. So if you guys want to see that process, let me know in the comments below. That would really help me out. So now that I got all the creams down, I'm looking nice and tan and rosy, and I'm going to set it so it does not move and it doesn't smear and it stays right in place. So I'm going to take my RCMA No Color Translucent Powder on my Beauty Blender. First, I'm going to use it underneath my eyes to kind of blend out any creasing that I have going on already. And then I'm going to dip into my powder and apply just a little bit underneath my eyes, just like that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a big fluffy brush and I'm just gonna dip into the powder directly and set the rest of my face very lightly. I don't wanna pack too much on, but I do wanna set everything so that when we put the powders on top, nothing gets choppy. Another video idea that I was considering doing is doing a series, my first series on my channel. So it would be a whole series on things for makeup beginners. So maybe the first video would be that I'd show you guys all my favorite items that you could make your first makeup toolkit out of. So basically that would be your artistry bag of all the essentials that you would need and would use, and give you my recommendations. So then the next video could be dedicated specifically to contour. So it could be a beginner's guide to contour, and I'd only talk about contour in the video and show you all the basics and talk about why I do it, why I place it where I do, and different things like that, and go into detail about what contouring does for your face, and basically a how-to tutorial just on contouring / bronzing. Then I could do another video on beginner's eyeshadow. So basically you'd be zoomed in the entire time, and I'd go over a couple different patterns of like a regular eyeshadow look that I do on my channel, like a halo eye, maybe a one color tone, and I'd zoom you in and I'd show you step by step how I layer and place the eyeshadows. So that would be a separate video too. So I would make a playlist and put those all together. But you guys let me know what you think, because I would love to do like a beginner's guide basically. All right, so now that my entire face is lightly set, it is time to go in with the powder. So next I'm gonna go in with the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the shade Bronzer. This I also tried out in my last video, and I've been using it religiously. I haven't even flopped to another bronzer once. I just love this bronzer, and I'm so glad I reconnected with it again. So I'm just going to take this Alamar brush. This is their bronzer brush, and it's really cute. It has a little flower imprint on the top. And I'm just going to dip into here pretty lightly. And I am going to start at the base of my cheekbone, but towards the back. I don't want to bring it in too far, because you can already see I have a natural contour right there. So I'm just going to do it right back here. I'm going to kind of use my brush on a slant to really dig in the product. And then I'm going to blend it up into my hairline towards the tail of my brow. Can you see what a difference that makes from this side to this side? It's just a little bit more chiseled, and when I bake under here, it'll be perfect. So I'm just gonna go ahead and bronze up the rest of my face. And then I'm gonna go in with a big fluffy eyeshadow brush, the one I always use, the Morphe X JACLYN Hill JH30 brush. I'm gonna use this, and I'm just gonna apply it in the crease of my eye, just to kind of warm it up in there and give it a little bit more dimension. And then I'm going to take a little bit of a smaller brush that's kind of has a flatter top to it, and it's small, and I'm just going to dip in and run this under my lower lash line to just kind of make my eyes appear a little bit bigger, and again, add a little bit more dimension to them. All right, so that is good with bronzer. You can tell I'm like a bronze goddess right now. I have so much bronzer on my face. That's my vibe right now. I want to be on a tropical beach somewhere, sipping a pina colada or a strawberry daiquiri, virgin of course, just getting baked in the sun, and then I have to run to the ocean because I'm like sweating so bad from the sun being on me all day. That's what I want. So hopefully we can make that come true. But until then, I'm gonna be bronzing my face like who knows what. I'm gonna use the CIATÉ London Marbled Light Halo brush, and I'm using the Alamar complexion brush, and I'm just going to dip in, and this blush has a little bit of a sheen to it. So it has a little bit of a glow, which I do like for my island vibes right now. So I am actually going to take my beauty blender and just push these powders into my skin. I'm just going to tap over them very lightly with the butt of my beauty blender, and I'm just going to push in these powders and just kind of melt them into my skin. So I'm going to go in and take my RCMA No Color powder again, and I'm going to dip in with the tip of my beauty blender and just carve out underneath my cheekbones. I'm not going to let it sit there, however, because I don't really want a harsh line today. I do want it to be an overall bronzy look where it's just kind of like placed everywhere, but I do want just a little bit of cleanup, so I'm not going to let it sit there. I'm just going to apply it and wipe it away, and you can already see the big difference it made. So I'm just going to brush that off really quickly. Again, you can see a nice line there. Now I'm going to go in with some highlight. That is the next step to our glowy bronzy goddess look. I'm going to go in with this Luxie blush brush, and this is the 514 brush. I'm going to take my Champagne Pop highlighter by BECCA. These are their shimmering skin perfectors, and I'm just going to tap in, and I'm going to put this basically all over my face. And with this bigger brush, it allows me to disperse the product a little more sparsely, so it's not like I'm taking a more concentrated brush like this. If I took this and put it everywhere, I would look like I just had a thick layer of highlight on my cheek, and that's not the idea. We want it to look like there's a glow from within, so that's why I'm using this brush. Also, the way you hold your brush is very important. If I was to hold my brush like this and start going in with the product, it would apply the same way as this brush almost. It would apply it really dense and like a thick coating of highlight, which we don't want because our skin is already kind of dewy, and we just want to bring a little bit more dew back to our face since we just powdered everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my brush towards the back, and I'm just going to lightly add some product to the back of my cheeks, my temples, and my forehead, my nose, and my chin. So that's what I'm going to do. And again, I'm tapping in very lightly, holding the brush towards the back, and I'm just going to lightly place it on my cheeks. See how pretty that looks? Now, I would not do this with a product like the JACLYN Balm Highlighter. I would only do it with something like this that isn't as intense at first punch, if you know what I mean. Even though this is a very intense highlighter, if you use your finger with it, which I'm going to do on my Cupid's bow, you'll see it's very intense. But again, it's the brush that we use and the way we held the brush that applies it as more of a glow from within kind of thing. So now it is time for eyes, which I'm really excited for. So first, the palette I'm going to go into is, of course, the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. This is her original palette, my favorite palette of all time, which you guys probably already know because I say it all the time. But I'm gonna go back in with my GH30 brush, that super duper fluffy brush, and I'm gonna dip into, okay, again, sorry, this palette is extremely dirty. It is well loved, guys. I love this palette, and you can tell just by how dirty it truly is. But that's okay. I wish there was a better way to clean it, because if there was, I would do it. Trust me. But I haven't found the best way to clean it. So I'm going to dip into the shade that is like barely there. So it's the fourth one in on the top row. I'm just going to tap into that and tap off my brush so that the excess powder comes off. And I am going to apply this to my crease. This is just a really nice brown eyeshadow with a really light pink undertone to it. Now that I've applied that almost all the way up to my brow bone, I'm going to go in with the James Charles palette. So now I'm going to go in with another Jaclyn Hill brush. This is the JH32 brush, and I'm going to go into this shade, which is called Mary. So I'm going to go into this. It's like a, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a dark, dusty rose color. So I'm going to go in with that, and I'm going to apply this really tightly in my crease. And I'm just doing this to kind of get the shape of my eye. So I'm just trying to place it really lightly. I'm not trying to build up the color right now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with more of a dense brush. I'm going to go in with this Luxie 231 small tapered blending brush. So I'm just going to take this right into my crease. As you can see, I don't know if you can see, but it applies the color a little bit more of with a punch because it is so much denser. So it's really gonna pack on that color for me. I'm applying most of the shadow to the outer corner of my eye, and then I'm just fluffing it in towards the inner corner, but mainly keeping it towards the outer corner. I'm not taking it all the way up to my brow bone. As you can see, there's a nice line there, but I am kind of blending it into it a little bit. So I'm gonna apply a little bit more of that. Now with this brush, I'm kind of bringing it out of my crease and up into the space that is underneath my brow bone now. I'm not as concentrated in my crease at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my shimmer shade. I'm gonna go in with this big pan shade right here, and this is called Face. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna use my finger and I'm gonna rub it around in the pan, and then I'm going to take it, such a pretty shade. It's more of like a champagne-y gold. So I'm gonna take this and I'm going to drag it all over my eyelid. This shade is so gorgeous. Now because of my finger, I can't get all the way up into my crease without making it messy. I'm gonna go in with this eyeshadow brush. I don't really know where it's from, but I'm just going to tap into this. It has like a flat top, and it'll be good to really get in there and carve out my eyelid. So I'm gonna take this right in here, and I'm just gonna really get it in there. A good tip to make sure that you get it right in the crease and not any higher is to have your eyes open. Don't shut your eyes and do it. Keep them wide open, look straight, and then just push it in right like that, and it'll help you be more precise with the application. Now I'm gonna go back in with that brush we had the pink on and just kind of blend out the edges. I think that looks beautiful. I'm just gonna take a little bit more on my finger and just go over it one more time. Again, taking the brush to buff out the edges. I'm gonna go back into my JACLYN Hill palette over here and just grab a brown just to deepen this up a little bit. I'm gonna take the same brush and I'm going to go into this shade right here and a little bit of this one. So this is the 3rd row, 6th over, and then in the 4th row, the 7th over. So I'm just gonna tap a little bit, like the slightest bit, and I'm really tapping it off. I don't want a lot. I'm gonna take this first on the outer corner right here. Actually, I tapped off a little too much. I could use a little more. And I'm just going to tap this right into the outer corner and then really close in my crease. Again, using that technique where I look straight forward and press that brush right into the crease directly. What this is doing is this just is adding more dimension and darkening up the look a little more than what we had with just that rose shade. And I think that looks beautiful. I'm gonna take this brush with the shimmer shade on it one more time and just kind of run it over right where we already had the shimmer color, just to layer it on a little bit thicker. And again, taking my brush. Eyeshadow is all about layering, guys. It could take a long time to make everything so seamless, but you just gotta really invest the time in blending and layering things up. But that is the eye look for the top of the eye right there. So I'm gonna go ahead off camera and do the other eye just to save us some time, and then I'll come back to you when it's time to do my lower lash line. So now that I have the lids done, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do my lower lash line. I'm gonna dip back into this rosy shade, and I'm gonna take this on a precise pencil brush. I'm gonna, I dropped my brush, hold on. Okay, pick up sticks, that's what I'm playing over here. All right, so I'm gonna use the Morphe x JACLYN Hill GH39 brush, and I'm gonna dip into this rosy shade pretty liberally, but then I'm gonna tap it off, and I'm going to run this on my lower lash line and connect it to this outer portion of my eye. See how I'm just running this to the point over here? Kind of wings out a little bit. I'm now going to take a flat definer brush like this. I'm gonna go into this brown shade, which is right next to the black, and this shade is called No Beans. So I'm gonna dip into this with my definer brush. I'm tapping off the excess, and I'm going to use this to line my lash line on the top and bottom. So I'm just getting it as close as possible to my lash line, and I'm just pushing and dragging just to kind of smoke it out a bit. And I'm taking it all the way into my inner corner. So now that that liner is a little harsh, I'm just going to take my pencil brush again and just run it over the liner we just applied, just to kind of further smoke it out a bit. I'm just gonna lean towards the camera a little bit so you could see more detail of the eye work, but I think it is really pretty. It came out really nice, in my opinion. I'm going to go into this little palette that my friend got me the other day. I don't even know where it is from, but it's by Makeup Obsession London, and it is their dedicated face palette. I don't even know, but I'm gonna use this Faithful shade. It's just a really nice gold highlight shade, and I'm gonna use a Lavish eye shading brush, and it's just kind of a rounded tip, a little bit bigger because I want a little bit more light, and I'm gonna dip into this gold shade, tap it off of course, and then just hit the inner corner. And I'm just gonna mix these top two highlight shades on the top row, the first one and the second one, and I'm just going to lightly highlight over where I just highlighted and just reapply that right to my inner corner. And I'm gonna go into my Anastasia Very Dirty Soft Glam palette, and I'm gonna go into Tempera. It's this really nice white shade, and I'm just going to use this to lightly highlight my brow bone and just bring a little bit of life back into it so my eyeshadow doesn't go all the way up to my brow bone. The last thing I'm going to do to my base is just add a little bit more of a concentrated highlight. I'm going to go in with the JACLYN Hill Bomb Loose Highlighter, and I'm going to use the cap because I don't want too much, and I'm going to go in with that denser Luxie brush that we were talking about before, and this is their tapered highlight brush, which is 522, and I'm going to lightly dip in, make sure you tap it off, and I'm going to tilt my face so I can see that natural highlight point, and I am just going to hit it a little bit more directly, just in the spot where the light catches it. I'm just going to do some mascara off camera. I'm going to use the L'Oreal Paris Voluminous Lash Paradise Mascara in the shade The Blackest Black. Okay guys, so that is the eyes all complete. I think that the eye look came out so beautiful, and our skin still looks bronzed and glowy, and it just looks so beautiful. All of these products really pair so nicely together that I used on my face. The last thing that I'm going to do for my face though is I'm going to set it with the Morphe Luminous Setting Spray. Okay, so now I am nice and drenched and even glowier than I was before. So now I'm going to do some lips. I'm going to try and match my lips to my eyeshadow color, so I'm going to mix a couple together, so please forgive me. I'm going to go ahead and start with a little bit of chapstick, but then I'm going to go in with a lip liner. The NYX Professional Makeup Suede Matte Lip Liner in the shade London. This is a beautiful lip liner. So I'm going to go ahead first and line my lips. I'm going to go in with one of the JACLYN Hill lipsticks in the shade Hustle. I'm just going to apply this everywhere. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply a little bit of the Ulta Beauty Matte Liquid Lipstick. And I don't know the shade, but I will try and put the closest one I can find down below. And I'm going to use this. So basically why I'm using so many lip products is I'm basically contouring my lips. So you know how we contoured the eyes, we contoured our face. What I'm going to do now that I have the base down is I'm going to take this darker Ulta lipstick and I'm just going to put it on the outer edges of my lips, and then I'll take the gloss in the final shade and put that in the middle. Now we're gonna pop out the middle with the lightest shade, which is that Bit of Honey Butter Gloss by NYX, and I'm just gonna put this right in the center. Here's the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed. I had a lot of fun filming this video. It was nice to get back to some makeup. My last video was like my quarantine morning routine, so go ahead and watch that if you haven't already. But that wasn't as makeup related. I mean, I did my makeup in the video, but I didn't like sit down and talk to you guys and really get like a good makeup tutorial in, so I thought that getting back to some makeup and sitting down with you guys and getting ready would be a good video idea. Let me know what you guys think about the prom video that I was talking about in my beginner series, so let me know about that. I would really appreciate that. I also really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much to those viewers that always watch my videos, that give it a thumbs up, that are the first ones to click on my video. It means so much to me to see that my videos do well and that you guys really like them. This is truly my passion. I love makeup, so it makes me so happy that I get to share it with you guys. Again, let me know anything you want in the comments, any suggestions to make my videos better, whether you like shorter videos or longer videos or somewhere in between, or if you have any video suggestions. It really helps me out. I really love you guys. Thank you guys to everyone who watches my videos, whether you subscribe or not. It means so much to me and just keeps me motivated to make more videos. Please make sure, if you like me and you like my videos, please make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share them with your friends. That really helps me out when I get new viewers and new subscribers. It makes my day and makes me really happy. So thank you guys for that. Thank you guys for making it this far into the video. If you are still here, comment down below a little sun emoji, because we need a little sunshine in our lives right now, so I would really appreciate that as well. Thank you again. I'm so grateful for you, and I really truly hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!